Hello everyone, this is Kona, and thank you for tuning in to another TF2 commentary. Now, I think we can all agree that TF2 has a lot of cosmetics, especially with these recent updates. They introduce a lot of new stuff, but not really any new weapons, and I think it's about time that Valve introduced some new weapons, not only just reskins, but I'm talking about new mechanics, new gameplay mechanics that will make TF2 a lot more interesting. Now, there's been some talk about this new end-of-the-line update that's going to be community-driven, and it's going to actually include new weapons, and hopefully they're going to include new gameplay mechanics with these weapons, and not just going to be reskins. I thought it would be kind of fun to come up with some new ideas for each of the classes. Now, I'm not saying that these ideas are going to be actually implemented in the community-driven update, but I'm just saying, oh, it's kind of fun to come up with some interesting things for each of the classes, and I'll try to highlight like what I think is a pretty good idea, and also an idea that might be kind of bad, kind of like it's something that's fundamentally wrong with it, and it needs to be tweaked a little bit. This is going to be a two-part video, so I'm going to be starting with the first 5 classes. That's the Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demoman, and Heavy. So, starting off with the Scout, the weapon that I would like to see kind of implemented is something like a one-shot shotgun that slows when you get hit. I don't know if I'm thinking like Natasha shotgun. You guys ever played Heavy and use a Natasha, which like nobody uses? That weapon slows on hit, but imagine a shotgun that has one shot in it, so you have to reload. But if you hit someone, and it's gonna have like a scatter, if you hit someone, whoever you hit, they get slowed down a little bit. So you can kind of think of the Scout as maybe some sort of crowd control type of class. Now, if you don't know what crowd control is, I suggest you watch my other video about crowd control, some crowd control ideas that I think are pretty cool. Now, the kind of other crazy idea I had for the Scout is actually from my brother, and he thought it would be kind of neat to have, you know how the Scout has all of these different types of drinks, right? Imagine a drink where it was like Russian roulette. It was RNG, random number generator. When you drank it, it would give you a random effect. You don't know what's gonna be until you actually are done drinking it. But it'll last a little bit longer, and there might be some maybe special one that you can only get through this special RNG type of drinking thing. But also, there has to be a penalty to this. If you drink it, there is a chance that you can hurt yourself or accidentally drink like a poison. So if you drink this and you're just unlucky in your RNG, then charging that soldier there. But yeah, if you drink it and you're kind of unlucky, then all of a sudden you drank poison and you're kind of poisoning yourself and you're damaging yourself, and the only way to stop that is to get a health pack or to ask a medic to heal you up. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so the next class I want to talk about is the Soldier. Now, I think it'll be kind of interesting for the Soldier to have a wire-guided rocket. I know the Soldier has enough rocket launchers as it is. I mean, I lost count already. There's so many different neat effects. But I think it'd be kind of neat to have a wire-guided rocket. Now, if you played something like Battlefield 4, the engineer has this wire-guided rocket where you zoom in, and as long as you're zoomed in, it will actually your rocket will kind of follow wherever the crosshair is. Now, I know there's no zooming in TF2 for the rocket launcher, and I wouldn't want one, honestly. But imagine if you just had a one-shot thing where you have to reload, you fire the rocket, and it would follow wherever the crosshair is. Now, this might be kind of interesting because imagine you see a bunch of enemies, but you don't want to expose yourself out in the open and just kind of stand there and get shot. Well, you can fire a rocket and maybe, without even exposing where you are, be able to actually curve a rocket somewhat around a wall or an obstacle or something and still get a hit. I think that's pretty cool. Now, a crazy idea for the Soldier would be to use his grenades. Now, he has a bunch of grenades as cosmetics and stuff like that, but he actually can use it, not only in taunting and stuff like that, but he has a taunt kill that can basically blow up anyone near you when you activate this taunt kill with the grenade. But imagine a grenade that wasn't just part of a taunt kill, it was an actual equipable weapon. And what you would do is you would take out the grenade, and to activate it, you would pull the pin. And from then on, you had a few seconds to run to an enemy to try and take them out with you. you wouldn't be able to throw it because, I don't know, I think throwing grenades in this game is kind of weird, and lobbing grenades, I think, should be something that's reserved for the Demoman. He's like the grenade master, the explosives master. So this would be something where you just pull the pin, and kind of like a suicide thing, you just run towards the enemy, get as close to them as possible, and try and take them out. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, there was this thing called martyrdom or something like that, where after you died, you would drop a grenade. So maybe the soldier would have some sort of equipable item thing that allowed him to drop a grenade, like a live grenade, after you killed him. So after you killed him, you have to get out of there. Next up is the Pyro. Now, I think it'd be kind of cool to have the Pyro be able to temporarily light the ground on fire. Now, if you played other games they usually do this with something like the Molotov cocktail, where you throw it and it's just the ground is on fire. I think even CS:GO does this as well. But imagine the Pyro has a special weapon or a special flamethrower or something that allows him to temporarily set the ground on fire in order to control space and control, you know, the area which enemies can go. Now, this fire would be able to get blown out, so enemy pyros could go over there and blow it out, or you could just throw like Mad Milk or Girardi on it and it would be extinguished. But it would be something that allows the pyro to sort of control space for his team. Now, a really crazy idea for the pyro is something that I was thinking, like, how can the Pyro be like a real team player? I know the Pyro gets a lot of assists because of the burn damage, but how could you have like a Pyro help other classes with like combo attacks or something like that? And so I thought, oh, it would be kind of interesting to have a Pyro be able to air blast friendly projectiles. In other words, be able to redirect friendly projectiles. So imagine, two soldiers shooting a certain direction at a friendly pyro. Well, that pyro would be able to actually reflect those rockets a different direction and be able to attack and maybe even get the kill or the assist with it. And I think that would be kind of interesting. But the problem is, I can see a big problem of friendly pyros just trolling and basically stopping all projectiles. That would be bad. So, but something would be interesting to allow the pyro to be a little more involved with the fight besides just doing burn damage. The Demoman is next, and I think it'd be kind of neat to give the Demoman a new grenade launcher that shot round projectiles, and the whole purpose of it was to bounce them before they hit the enemies. Now, the current ones can sort of bounce. They're okay at bouncing, but they're sort of unpredictable because they're not round. Imagine something that was more predictable. It was round, so that you kind of knew how it was going to bounce, and for every bounce that it got, it increased the damage once it finally hit the target and exploded, or it timed out and exploded. So I think it'd be kind of cool to sort of do these neat trick shots, kind of like in that Demoman Meet the Demoman trailer thing where he bounced it off the wall. I want more of that. That'd be kind of neat. Now, an even weirder idea would be to have a sticky grenade launcher that only stuck to people. So it wouldn't stick to walls or anything like that. I think it'll just disappear. But if you got a direct hit on the person, it would just stick to them, and you could choose when to detonate it. So imagine, shooting someone, you get a bunch of stickies, and it's all stuck on them. You don't detonate it right away. You make them run back, like they'll have to run back for health or something like that to their base. And then once they're there, then you detonate it. So, I think it'd be really funny to have just see your teammate run towards you with these sticky grenades, and you're like, don't come any closer, and then boom, you're all dead. Okay, the last class I'm going to cover in part 1 of this video is going to be the Heavy. And I think the Heavy really needs a new weapon, because I don't know about you, but when I join servers, I rarely see people play Heavy. In fact, you notice your team getting owned, and you're like, why is that? And oh, no one's playing Heavy. And I think it's because Heavy, even though it's just such an awesome class with the medic, it's kind of a boring class. And so I think really this class needs something to spice it up a little bit. Now, I think it would be kind of cool to give the Heavy sort of like a mini automatic cannon thing where it goes doom, doom, doom. It's not like this really fast-firing minigun. It's a slow-firing gun that maybe, doesn't do too much damage on hit, but it has like these exploding rounds where it sort of does a very small AoE around someone. So when you hit them, it kind of explodes a little bit, but it's a slow rate of fire. Also, I think these rounds could be effective against buildings or mainly shielded things. So imagine you're going against a wrangled sentry or, you know, a vaccinator medic or something like that. It would be able to, it has the ability to actually go through those shields. I think that'd be kind of cool. Now, to keep this sort of fair, this would still have the bullet spread of the minigun, maybe even more bullet spread than the minigun, just so that you wouldn't be able to shoot these exploding rounds across the map and basically snipe people with it. Now, a couple more crazy ideas for the heavy. It'd be kind of cool to have like a Juggernaut kind of thing. Now, Juggernaut, you know, like X-Men, is basically this character who runs and like nothing can stop him. So imagine the heavy had like a Juggernaut move where he starts, you know, he charges up, he starts running, and he charges straight, kind of like the Demoman. If he hits an enemy soldier, then he hurts them or something like that, or stuns them, and then he can do something else. If you charge and you miss everyone, you continue on, and when you hit the wall, it stuns you. So you gotta make sure when you charge you actually land it, otherwise you're gonna blow past everyone and you're gonna get yourself stunned. Now, my brother is obsessed with the idea that if there was ever a 10th class in TF2, it would be a grappler class, some guy who likes to grab people. And so he thought of an interesting idea to turn the heavy into a grappler class with like a bear hug move. Imagine you had to wear the bear cosmetic set. It would be something maybe only available to the bear cosmetic set. And if you could sneak up on behind someone as the heavy using this bear set, you activate the move and you would give them a huge bear hug. You would just kind of like squeeze them to death or something. I don't know what, but he's really into the idea of a grappler class, and so that'd be kind of interesting if you could sneak around. If you could sneak up behind someone as a heavy like that, I guess you deserve to kill him anyway, any way you want to. So those are some crazy ideas for 5 of the classes in TF2. Remember, this is part 1, so I'm going to be doing a part 2 with the remaining classes. Now, my question for you guys is obviously, what kind of crazy things would you like to see added? New game mechanics, not just new like tweaking the weapon stats like rate of fire, reload, and all that stuff. No, we're talking like really interesting game mechanics that you would like to see in TF2 just for these 5 classes. Let me know in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.